Hello everyone and welcome to the penultimate race of the All Boss Tokens tournament for Bugs Bunny and Taz Time Busters. I am Treble20. I'm not 100% sure if Bearhead will be joining us for this commentary. Hopefully he will, because it'd be great to have a second voice on this race. This is a massive race for those who haven't followed the tournament. The Blue Knight is 4 wins out of 4, and if he wins this one, he is the champion, and Ayaash is the only person who stands in his way. If Ayaash does win, Xordo will be champion on lower times. Unless Ayaash gets a sub 28 and the Blue Knight gets 28:30 or something like that, which is never going to happen because the world record is 30. I should know this because it was set in the tournament by Xordo. It's 30:34, I think. Something like that. But Ayaash sits third in the table with, I think, 2 wins. 3. I think it might be 3 wins, 1 defeat actually. No, it's 2 wins, 2 wins, 2 defeats. And as I said, Blue Knight 100% record. This is going to be an absolute belter, as it looks like we are about to start. And here we go, we are off. First thing we're going to see is the flying box glitch. This enables us to get bugs under the map by pushing a box with Taz onto the top of bugs. And how out of bounds works in this area is you go underneath the map and you spam hover, or Bugs' ears ability. And if you're hovering on the frame, you go too low, you go above the map. And that enables to access. You can actually access every area early by this skip. There are other out of bounds methods which we'll see later. And we're into the first area, which should be the second area. This is the Viking area. There are 3 boss tokens in every area. You don't actually need these boss tokens to beat the game. Any percent takes about 2.5 minutes, just over. But we are going to collect them for the sake of this run. So as you can see, there's a hole in the wall there which we've collected. We jump through, which both players are now out of bounds again. And you can't really see where you're going on this one, but the players know the inputs. And we're just going to hover into this boss token, and this skips a whole cycle of moving statues around, and we don't have time for that. Now, as you can see, Blue Knight is just ahead, and we've collected the throw ability where Taz can throw bugs, and that enables us to pick him up on a ledge. And if you kill Taz into the freezing water, you get what's called super bugs, where bugs runs really quickly. That's the only use of that application we'll see in this run, unfortunately. But it's a nice little speedy strat to get to Granny to collect the super roll, which we'll see a lot more of. So we've already got 1 boss token. It's pretty quick pace, these races. We're now on the shield race. Pretty simple. You just got to beat these 2 Viking guys on their shields down to the bottom, and you will get the boss token. How to decimate a game 101. This game is broken to higher heaven, but it's brilliant. It is a really good speed game. If you want a quick one, any percent, like I said, world record is just over 2.5 minutes, I think. And all boss tokens is 30 minutes, just over. If you can get sub 40, it's a very good run. So both players, not much to talk about really while both players are shield racing. So I'll quickly explain the story. Granny in Greenwich wants to get rid of some pests, so she hires Daffy Duck to do so. However, he ends up stealing the time gem rather than getting rid of the pest, which messes up all the time. And she gets Bugs to sort it out, basically, and she sends her pet Taz along with him, because why not? So we've both got to the end of that one now. We've got our second token. So now we're going to get our third token, which in this case is in Moon Valley. Every world has another area like this that has... they don't all have mini bosses, but this one does. And this is the only mini boss we can't skip in the game. and we'll see more of the skips later. So Moon Valley, you have to hit these 3 light switches on top of the circular podiums. And again, we're not going to do it legitimately. We're going to go out of bounds. So there's a few ways you can get up to this rock. You can dive off that rock, as both players have shown, or you can dive jump from the floor. It's a little easier to use the rock, but quicker to use the floor. And you throw bugs out of bounds. And again, we're going to hover from above. Ayaash has just fallen off the rock there. So the backup strat is to throw bugs back outside. Not the end of the world. There's plenty of backups, so there's not many resettable strats in this run where if you don't get it, that's game over. So it's another good reason to pick it up if you're thinking about it. So Blue Knight landed on top of the first light switch. He's now throwing bugs down to the other one, which I think you do this legitimately. To going up by the top. Dive jump on. And he's going to put Taz in position to get the third one. Now to get the third one, you are supposed to use a catapult from the top, but we use the anvil and dive jump off it. That is quite a finicky strat. But these guys are all pros at this, so they've nailed it. Blue Knight nailed it first time, is into the boss, and Ayaash also nails it first time. He'll be shortly into the boss as well. So this mini boss is annoying, you can't skip it. He has 6 shields on the side of his boat, which for some reason keep it afloat. Don't ask me, that's the way it works. And you have to throw the bombs on it. But the bombs obviously hurt, so we need Taz to use his shield to deflect them for bugs to catch, or pick up off the floor I should say. But in between these, he climbs up to the top of his mast and tries to belly flop you, so both players will show off that if you can keep bugs close enough to the side of the platform, the boardwalk, or whatever you want to call it, he will dive into the water rather than on the wood, and he'll skip the animation. The Blue Knight is using Death Abuse to skip this animation as well, which is slightly quicker, but is a bit more finicky. And unfortunately, this boss doesn't trigger unless you hit 3 lights and lower the bridge, so you can't go out of bounds and just glide into the trigger. Which is a shame, because it would be a lot quicker if we could. So Blue Knight is just 1 shield ahead here. And as I said, there are big implications of this race. Blue Knight going for 100% and for the tournament victory. There is still one more race to go, and that is on Saturday evening in American time. I think it's Sunday morning European time. We'll confirm that at the end. So Blue Knight is about to wrap up this boss. As you can see, the ship is now sunk and he gives you the boss token. And that is the first area complete. So we were supposed to go to Aztec first rather than Viking, so that's where the Blue Knight is going to be heading towards now. And again, you're supposed to get all 10 gears in Greenwich to unlock this door. However, we can get in there without doing that. We'll use the throw ability that we collected from the Viking area and bounce on Taz's head. And there we go, and in the door we go. So 100%, the world record is 1 hour 37, I think, by the Blue Knight. But he is the king of 100%, and there's only, I think, 4 runs on the leaderboard. The Blue Knight has optimised it a lot. Fair play to him, because it is so difficult. Because for 100%, you have to get every single gear, and to remember where they all are. I don't know how he does it. I really don't. It's a fantastic run if you want to check it out. So now we're into the baboon realm, or the Blue Knight is. Ayaash is collecting the bounce ability where Taz can bounce. Bugs, can bounce on Taz's head and get a bit of height. We'll use that later. Although a lot of members of the community skip it because it's not necessary, but it is helpful. So this is the area like Moon Valley, but in Viking's equivalent, where you have to get to a mini boss, and to do so you have to open the monkey's mouth, which you'll see in a bit, and to do that you have to throw coconuts into 6 statues. So the first phase has 1, the second phase has 2, and the third phase has 3. But again, we're going to go out of bounds because this game is broken. So there's an out of bounds that the Blue Knight showed off in the water, which Ayaash will show off as well, in case you missed it. And he will glide down to this is the 3 statue puzzle, which you're supposed to do last. However, we're going to do it out of order because we can. And all you got to do is throw these coconuts in, and it will open. I think it goes left eye, right eye, and then the mouth to get into the boss. Yeah, so we'll just touch on 100% while I have a minute. Interestingly, all the boss tokens, which is what this one is, you don't even need the boss tokens in 100% because they don't count for any percentage completion. The reason this category is so popular is it's a nice length rather than any percent being 3 minutes or 4 minutes, or if you're good 2.5, and 100% being quite long if you know 1.5 hours plus. It's a perfect length for the in between. So Blue Knight has the boss mouth open. Now you'll get to see Ayaash is just behind. He's about to do the last puzzle to get the mouth open. Now this boss we can skip. So once we've entered, all you have to do is throw bugs at the door, and you're inside, rather than having to beat the boss. And that's because when you throw bugs, his hitbox is expanded, and it expands so much that it can trigger the entrance to the door. So now we're going to get the token that's within the home area, and this is an out of bounds that one of the other fellow runners, Tascan, discovered. Again, we've thrown bugs through the wall, and you're going to glide down to skip a little puzzle where you have to dig under the ground with Taz and bump up some beams or poles or whatever you want to call them with bugs for bugs to climb. Instead, we're going to glide down and hit the switch, and Blue Knight will do a swag dive jump to get the token. Oh, Shifty, I'm glad you've said that. So this actually is a second game in the series. This is technically a sequel to a game called Bugs Bunny Lost in Time, and if you do !TTBBT in the chat, we've merged our Discord, the Bugs Bunny and Taz community, with the Lost in Time community, so there's plenty of information in there about the 2 games. They're both brilliant games, very underrated in my opinion. You really should check them out. So as you can see, the Blue Knight, we're in our second chase level. This is the Vikings one, called the Sacred Ride, where the Blue Knight is in right now, and Ayaash will shortly be there. This dragon is actually in Lost in Time, and their hitboxes are a pain in the backside of that game. Again, it's pretty simple. You just got to get to the end to get the token. Not a lot to talk about in the auto scrollers when it comes to the all boss tokens run. This little animation that the Blue Knight is doing, as you can see, it looks like the dragon is kind of gliding. I think most players use controller for these runs, but you can press, I think it's up and left on the keyboard, or up and right, something like that, to form that gliding animation, which makes the dragon move slightly quicker. Worth noting, while we're talking about controllers and keyboards and stuff, it is very, very important that if you want to run this game, that you run it on the PC version, because a lot of the out of bounds glitches or other strats don't work on the PlayStation version. Not really sure why, but that's just the way it is. And if these games are, I think they're 20 years old, I think, this one. So the Blue Knight has collected the 3rd token in the Viking area, and it is actually quicker to start the race again and then quit to Granite, rather than quit to the home area and then quit to Granite, to say no. Okay, so 2 areas done. We're heading to the 3rd area, which is the Arabian area, which actually is the 3rd area. And again, we haven't unlocked the door because we're supposed to beat the boss from the first 2 areas and have a certain amount of gears, but we're going to use Bugs' expanded hitbox to just throw him at the door, and in we go. Because Ayaash is just on the last part of the sacred ride. Bit of catching up to do. So, in the Arabian area, the homeworld token you collect by freeing 4 genies. This is the Wind Temple. There's a whole puzzle you're supposed to solve here, but if you just put the end wind on, you can jump off the plant pot. And what the Blue Knight is doing here is skipping a cutscene by diving and quitting at the last minute and leaving the area. Now that's freed the genie, but it skipped the cutscene of him being free. So that is a really, it's quite a risky strat, and he's nailed it. So that's going to be a good time save for the Blue Knight. Now he's in the Water Temple trying to free the Water Genie. As Ayaash has just come to the end of the Viking area, the Aztec area, and he's making his way to Arabian area as well. So the water one we do legitimately. You're supposed to blow up these piranhas with bombs, but you can just swim past them because you have enough life. And this is the cutscene we skipped from the other genie. He flies into this room. He shows up. You need 4 of them. Boss fights. Apart from the very last boss fight, is the only actual boss fight we do. There's a mini boss fight that was already gone. Bring back that lamp is the living meme of this game. So this is the auto scroller from the Arabian area called the Carpet Chase. You just have to beat the little guy in the race in order to bring back that lamp, as we've already been alerted. Pretty simple when it comes to this category. These are a pain when it comes to 100%, as the Blue Knight will tell you. He has them down to a T. Yeah, 20 years. And if it lost in time was the year before that, so 21 years. So we can see Ayaash dodging the piranhas in the Water Temple, as he will be freeing the second genie. So the Blue Knight holding his nerve at the moment, because if he wins this race, he wins the tournament. This game was on PC and PlayStation. Bring back that lamp. Iconic quote. Yeah, both PC and PS1. But it's worth speedrunning, as I mentioned it earlier, but the PC version is the one to speedrun, because certain glitches and tricks don't work on the PlayStation 1 or the PlayStation X version. So the Blue Knight has his first boss token in the Arabian area. Ayaash is just at the start of the Carpet Chase, so he's slightly behind. So this is the super roll that I mentioned earlier that we unlocked. It's just a quicker permanent movement for bugs. It does run out though, but when it does you can call Taz. And we are entering the Royal Gardens, which is like the Moon Valley and the Boom Realm. However, this one doesn't have a boss. All we have to do is collect 3 pearls, and they will fly onto the lion statues that you can see just ahead of us, and that will give us the boss token. Now, do you think we're going to do any of these legitimately? Well, we are going to do one legitimately, which is this one. So you have to open the gates to get in. And we go into this little temple hut, if you will, and you have to throw bugs through the 4 rings, which you think is simple, but actually if you hit the side of some of the rings it won't count even if you go through still, so you need to be careful that you don't miss those. And that will give us the rope, which you'll see now. Well, it unlocks the puzzle to the flute, I should say. And we had a debate in another race whether this is actually a flute or not. I don't think it is, but apparently it is. And you climb up. The inputs, I think they're always the same for the music, however you can't unlock them without doing the puzzles. So Ayaash is done with the sacred ride, that's the wrong area, the Carpet Chase. He's on his way to Royal Gardens as well. It's worth noting that both players are on a really good pace here, as every race has been fantastic. I think 36 is the highest we've had, which is an excellent. So we're out of bounds again, as you can see. The Blue Knight uses the bounce ability, where Bugs bounces on Taz's head, and you can go through the bush and out of bounds, and you can glide to the remaining 2 pearls rather than sort out the puzzles, because we don't have time for that. Now you can do it without the bounce, as a few of the runners like to do. There is a dive jump strat, but it's a bit safer. Well, I've never tried it, so I can't comment, but it's a bit safer to use the bounce, I think. So yeah, worth noting. Actually, I noticed someone mentioned about having siblings. Someone needs to sit out. This, you can play this 2-player, and there are co-op categories on the speedrun leaderboards. There are not many on there. And you don't have to do it locally. You can use software now as well to make an online connection. So if you fancy doing that with a friend, well worth it. So as you can see, the Blue Knight has the 3rd token, 3rd pearl, which gives him the boss token. This token takes an age to load. I don't know why. And Ayaash has done the 1st token, the 1st pearl. He's now going to use the... Will he use the bounce? You can use the plant pot yet to get out there as well to start with. And he's falling rather quickly. Right, so the Blue Knight is really fast paced. So I do apologise from jumping from stream to stream or streamer to streamer. The Blue Knight is in the Earth Temple, where again we skipped the whole process by throwing bugs out of bounds underneath a crystal. But this time we've run out of bounds for a little bit alongside the map and then fall in the perfect spot to land on the genie, rather than fall straight away. And there is our 3rd genie. And you can just leave Taz by the door and you can walk out, so you don't even have to go back through it. So Ayaash is just trying to get bugs to fall through the floor. He's under the bush, and so is Taz. So this is the Fire Temple that the Blue Knight is in. Will he go for the cutscene skip? No, he's not going for it. I didn't think he would, to be honest. Fair play, doesn't need to. It loses about 15-20 seconds if you get it wrong. So there's a token from the 4 genies. This Ayaash has got his 3 pearls, I believe. So I think what Ayaash is going to do is... Yeah, so as you can see, Ayaash is back at the very beginning because he put Taz out of bounds as well as bugs, which makes it a bit quicker to get the token. So that's a nice other strat there as well. So, as Blue Knight just spoke to Tweety and Granny to collect the carrot gun, which we'll be using in the next area. So, another out of bounds. This out of bounds used to be the main out of bounds we used to get into the areas quicker than unlocking it the real way before the box clip was found. But we still use it to get to Arabian when we leave, to get to Transylvania, sorry, when we leave Arabian. Because it's the quickest way to do so. So that's how you can this is the last area, and that's how you can access it without doing any of the areas, is by out of bounds and going behind the gate. So the Blue Knight is looking good for his victory thus far. Don't want to jinx anyone, so touch wood. Obviously Ayaash is going to be trying to catch up. Soft locks can happen in this game. And again, I shouldn't be saying these sort of things really, it's bad omens, but touch wood. This is Haunted River, or as it's known, Heartbreak River. This is the Transylvania's area's auto-scroller. Again, in all boss tokens, it really is no harm. Just don't get hit by a crocodile or alligator or whatever you want to call them. And don't go into a whirlpool, and you should be fine. In 100%, however, it is a joke of a level. It's really tough to get all the gears. You can do it in 2 visits, I believe, but even that's good going. Even 3 or more would be good going. So Ayaash is done in the Arabian areas. You can say he's just collected the homeworld token from the genies, and he is going to be heading to Transylvania as well. So I'm not quite sure how far behind he is. We can check by what time they both end the Haunted River. If you want to follow both of these excellent runners, !R in the chat. And if you want to see more information about the standings and the tournament, well, there's only one race left after this one. But we'll be planning to do more tournaments of this ilk, because this tournament has been absolutely fantastic. Whilst Blue Knight finishes up on the auto scroller and Ayaash is about to join it, I will big up the community so much. Xordo, who is the world record holder, it was sort of his idea to set this up along with some of the others, and he drove it forward. So shout out to him and shout out to all the runners. I will name them all at the end. And it's been fantastic to see our game in this competitive nature. So we come to the end and you just get a boss token for your troubles. Oh, and on the world record, the Blue Knight took the world record off Xordo the night before his first race. And then Xordo got it back in practice, and then Xordo smashed the world record by 40 seconds in a race. I think it was against Ayaash as well. And at least 4 of the runners practicing or in the races of PB during this tournament. So the Blue Knight, as you just seen there, has glitched inside the tower to get the second boss token there. What you're supposed to do is transform into 3 monsters and go into bell towers and climb all the way to the top and hit a bell. But if you position Taz just in front of the gate, just enough so you can, not close enough so you bounce on his head, and not too far away so you dive onto the floor, you can glitch through as bugs. So I was waffling away about the tournament while he showed that off, so we'll keep an eye out for Ayaash when he comes to do it. And we're out of bounds again. So in this area you need to hit 4 switches rather than 3, which is multiples of 3 for the rest of them, but this is 4. 4 switches to turn the time of day to night before you can get the boss token, which is actually behind that bar right there that you just see in front of the Blue Knight, but you can't get it using the strats you will see in this daytime area when it turns to night, because it just won't let you collect it when it's daytime for some reason. So the 2 out of bounds we do here. Blue Knight's getting them out of the way. It doesn't matter if you do these first or if you get the other 2 switches the legitimate way. It doesn't really make a difference. Blue Knight nailed both of those out of bounds there. Again, it's using all the out of bounds are very similar. It's just finding where they are, throwing bugs and bouncing on Taz's head. There's a carrot gun in action to open these doors. And bubblegum. This is a proper way to use bubblegum. So here's Ayaash doing the clip to get the homeworld token. So you just got to get Taz in the perfect spot. There you go. And you can dive in. That is actually the way we enter the final boss area, or Count's Castle, early in any percent, using that dive. Bit finicky the water switch there. It's usually best to just jump in the water rather than dive. And as you can see, we're about to go to night time. So these, as you can see on Ayaash's screen, they're like monkeys in the cages and the birds by the token here. They'll turn to monsters at night time. What you're supposed to do when it turns to night is get back up to the top where the first switch that the Blue Knight got was, and fight some like what are they, man-eating plants or whatever. They're these things. There's 3 you can see on the Blue Knight screen. There's 3 of them up at the top that you're supposed to fight off with shrinking pills. However, you can use the bubble gum, and if you manage it correctly, is probably the best way I can say it, you can keep it and you can fly all the way up to the top and in behind the castle area up there, behind the bars, and straight into the boss token without fighting the boss. And like I said, at daytime it's there, but it just won't load when you go to it, so you have to trigger the night time. So Ayaash is now coming to do his out of bounds to get the remaining 2 switches, And he uses the other side of the door. Now, I've always used the gate side when I've done it myself. Bear in mind, I haven't ran this game for 2 years. I'm retired. I do follow what the community do, so I know pretty much everything to know about the strats and stuff in terms of how to do it and how it works. But Blue Knight used the side with the gate, but it works just as well with the side without the gate. So there you go. The Blue Knight is into the boss token. He has all the boss tokens. He's ready to enter the final area. And Ayaash is getting his last switch to nighttime. So we use a super roll to roll up to Count's castle. And like I said, in any percent, this gate is closed, and you have to use we don't have to, it's quicker to use the clip method we saw to get the tower token to get in. Now, there are 3 locked doors here. Would you think we're going to unlock them? No. Okay, so the Blue Knight got through the door. You can get through the door and land on the other side with that dive jump, but it's not the end of the world if he goes out of bounds like this, as the Blue Knight has, because you can just glide down really quickly and you're in the room anyway. So saves a bit of time. This game is incredibly fun to speedrun. Really, really is. And these are called the Bear Heads. That's because Bearhead, one of our runners, invented these strats. There are loads of backup strats as well. You can clip out of the area with the Acme box in the first area. So there we have it. And there's the last clip. It's so quick. I do apologise if I'm trying to talk too quickly or trying to keep up with the runners. So we're into the final boss. Now there's a bit of RNG here. He spawns in 4 of the corners count. You can only cover 2 of them. Blue Knight is not getting good RNG here. Here we go. And once you've done that, you have to push 4 gargoyles into the middle. Now you're supposed to defeat Count by kicking or spinning him, and bounce on Taz as bugs to get up to the gargoyle, and then call Taz. However, you can jump on Bugs' ears as Taz and perform the trick ever so slightly quicker. It's quite finicky, but these guys make it look easy. Blue Knight is 2 gargoyles away from taking the tournament. He will be 5 wins from 5, and he will be the All Boss Tokens champion. So Ayaash has got his final token, and he's gone for the cutscene skip there, where you skip the animation of it hitting the gate. So it's a bit finicky. Blue Knight will just relax and set this up. So Count blocks the windows. That's where you're supposed to beat him. He's gone for the bugs bounce. And we're looking at 31-32. GG's to the Blue Knight, who is our All Boss Tokens champion. With that race win, he has won the tournament. 5 wins out of 5. GG's to the Blue Knight. He was a 2nd place runner before we started. He had world record for a bit during the middle of the tournament, or the beginning. But fair play to the Blue Knight, and he is a good friend of mine, so I'm very, very proud of him for winning this tournament. So Ayaash has done 2 of the bear heads while I've been singing the Blue Knight's praises. Let's see Ayaash finish strong with a good run here. He's on a very good pace. 32 into the boss is still very, very good. So hopefully we can get some good count RNG. Here he is. That's a bit better than what the Blue Knight got. He smashes the window open for us, and he will. Yeah, you can see he's used. So this is why they say you can skip the bounce because you don't need it in this boss fight. And actually, this boss fight gives it you anyway. This boss fight gives you the bounce ability and the carrot gun ability anyway. So you can actually do this boss fight early in the 100%, which I think the Blue Knight does or is going to implement. As Ayaash is just finishing off the final few gargoyles.
It's actually fucking working this time.
And here is the man himself, the Blue Knight. GG's, my friend. Congratulations on your tournament victory. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I don't think he can hear me. as Ayaash is just wrapping up. This has still been a very, very, very good run.
Should probably be better.
It's quite funny to have easy background noise on.
Can you hear
as
me?
Ayaash is going to finish up with a 30. Yes, mate, we can hear 33-28. GG's to Ayaash. Don't worry, Ayaash. No worries about the. Hello. Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
I can. Yes.
Congratulations, the Blue Knight. Excellent win and are the first ever All Boss Tokens tournament winner. How does that make you feel?
Thanks. Yeah, I'm delighted, but take nothing away from the other players as well, because they're all fantastic and they're all unique in their own different ways. And like as I said to you, I can't remember when it was, but just to have the tournament in the year that we've had has been fantastic. So I'm delighted to win, but it's a win as far as I'm concerned for everyone and for anyone who perhaps isn't enjoying life right now. It's great to kind of be in these tournaments. I'd recommend anyone go and come and join them.
Absolutely, yeah. And GG's to Ayaash. Not going to come and do an interview. No problem about that. Very tired. But GG, a great run. 33-28 is a very, very good run. So GG's on that. Is Ayaash is third, right? Blue Knight, is that correct?
He's currently third, but Bearhead may overtake him if he wins tomorrow.
Okay, so there's still positions to play for. So Ayaash will be a certain Trips fan tomorrow. But GG's, your contribution to the races and the commentaries and the community is fantastic. So GG's to Ayaash. If you're in the chat, exclamation R, go and follow him and the Blue Knight. Give him some love. So yeah, the Blue Knight, you've nailed it. 31-32. That's a solid run to do in a pressure situation. Were there any nerves?
There were quite a few at the start, but once I got past Moon Valley, I actually did very well. I don't know what the hell happened with my splits at Zouvania, because if someone with a BDI was watching, you might have noticed that my run was actually deemed to be finished, but for some reason my splits seemed to just go on holiday or whatever. I don't know, but Zouvania was actually a best seg,
Nice.
believe it or not.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you nailed the out of bounds, to be fair.
No, like in fairness, like Ayaash did really, really well, but that was my game plan from the start to play him out of the game. And there should be no shame from Ayaash, because he played very well. But thankfully, I was able to execute what I wanted to do. But I also want to give a huge shout out to Exordo as well, because whilst he finished second, whilst he lost to me, I consider him the best player, and it's also because of him that we're here as well. So immense credit to him. As far as I'm concerned, he is the best player. I mean, you saw his 30-26. It was just phenomenal.
It was 30-26, was it? I do apologise for quoting that wrong earlier in the run.
I almost joined him in the 30 club during the week, but I got 31 flat.
Oh,
because
no
of
way.
count. Yeah, basically counted what he did there. And
get that retimed.
I think it is a 31 flat, but it was my own fault because I messed up in Royal Gardens anyway. But yeah, no, immense. It's great, and thanks to you for stepping in at the last minute as well.
No, my pleasure. I've had really good. I've had as a neutral, not being involved in the races. It's been so much fun watching all these races. We're not finished yet. There is one left, but it's been so much fun and commentating on them. Obviously, most of my commentaries have been with you. It is a lot harder to do on your own. So fair play to anyone who's done it on their own so far. But it's good fun. It's really good fun, and it's been an absolute pleasure. And who knows? Maybe I'll come back to running. Maybe we'll see.
I've just got a text message. I won't say who it's from, but they've just called me a bug nerd.
Well, I'm guessing they were watching.
They were. Yes, I told them. I said, what did I say to him yesterday? I can't remember now. I said something to him yesterday. I can't remember what it was.
Well, I wish there was a trophy to present or something like that, but we'll have to get an online one mocked up.
I have
But-
somewhere a cuddly, like fluffy Taz, but I can't find him. I'm annoyed because that was going to be my little trophy procession to myself, which would look a bit weird. I had a cuddly toy Taz. If I find him, I'll take a picture of him and put him on Discord. But I can't find him. Unfortunately, he's hiding from me somewhere.
Oh, Taz is a little menace. But yeah, what a great tournament we've had. There's still one race to go, still positions to be played for in the tournament. So exclamation BBTTB in chat if you want to check the Discord, the standings, or the schedule out. It's early hours of Sunday European time, isn't it? Is that correct?
It is 3:00 in the morning, and I think the chances are I will be commentating. So I will warn people now that I might be talking quite softly during that race.
And I've done the exclamation R in the chat as well to follow the runners. If you really want to follow me, exclamation C, but I'm not active really at the moment, so I wouldn't advise it. So the Blue Knight, you are the champion. You can have the final word on what's been an excellent tournament. Actually, before you have the final word, I said I'd shout all the runners out in this tournament because they've been fantastic. So the Blue Knight, the champion, Sordo, who set it all up and made this thing a reality. Ayaash has been an excellent runner. Certain Trips, the only US runner in the tournament. Fair play to him. Most of us are from the UK or France. Tascan, who I feel sorry for because he's put in some excellent races and didn't come away with the victory, unfortunately. And Bearhead, who's Australian, so we really stretch the globe in our community. And I'd hats off to Bearhead because he wasn't active before this tournament. His PB was below sub 40, I think. And why is it now 34 something?
I'm not sure. He hasn't revealed what it is, but I'll join in what you've just said. And also in remarks to Bearhead's call for 100% race, I'm all for that. If he can have as much help or as little help as he wants from me. If he wants any help, then just give us a shout in Discord. But I'd also say as well, thanks to SpeedGaming, all their staff, in particular Rankin, who's been with us for a lot of the races, who's in chat. He's been brilliant helping us set up and making sure we know how we go about things. He's been fantastic. So fair shout out to all them. I believe they have a donate service, I think. So if you can give anything to them, then please do. I'm sure they'll appreciate anything you can give.
Yeah, I will second that. Big shout out to SpeedGaming and all their staff for helping us get this running as smoothly as it has. The only thing that hasn't been smooth is some of our community, but that's because of where they are in the world and timing differences. But no, jokes aside, really, it's been absolutely brilliant. And hopefully they'll have us back because we have plans for any percent tournament or we've already done all boss or a bingo tournament because there's a lot more of this game to show off. 100% tournament, I don't think we'll actually do. I think it'll be more of a one-off sort of race sort of thing.
I can 100% tournament. I'll tell you now. I would have had no problems finishing second in this tournament. If I finish second in a 100% tournament, something is wrong with the way I play the game. I don't think 100% tournament is happening. Any Blue Knight fans out there, please don't expect me to win any percent because I have absolutely no chance. I'm literally there to win a couple of games and potentially spoil people's fun, or to lose to someone who I shouldn't lose to. So any percent will be a right laugh if we do it.
Any percent is a completely different ball game, and don't worry, you guys. It won't just be one any percent race because it will literally take 4 minutes. We'll do a best of arrangement if we come to that. So I said you can have the final word, so you can. So I've been Treble 20. It's been an absolute pleasure to commentate on some of these races. I won't be commentating on the last race. I will try and tune in if I don't fall asleep. Because that is the US versus Australia race. And there are still positions to play for. So from me, thanks to the community for letting me commentate. I've not been involved in these races, but thanks for the opportunity. Thanks to Speed Gaming, and I will leave the final word to our champion, our all boss tokens champion, Blue Knight.
Thanks, Treble. Yeah, again, thanks to all the runners, Uxorla in particular, for organising the event, and like I say, hopefully we'll do some more. Thanks to anyone who's supporting me out there. And final word has to go to the man himself, Treble20, because I know he's my biggest fan. He's been encouraging me all the way, and the fact he's commentated on the games as well has been fantastic. So thanks to everyone, and it's been great fun. Hopefully we'll do some more.
Okay, we'll have the last word. We hope, yeah, we should definitely be back, I would think. Maybe I'll do some races, I don't know. But well done, the Blue Knight. Congratulations on your victory. Congratulations on the rest of the runners. One race to go, still some positions to play for. And until then, that's all, folks.